Well, hello everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining the Cycling Day, and you'll have to be with me, or the Cycling Day Extra. Let's get that right. You'll have to endure only me this time. Of course, our young Ewan, he is somewhere on the course today, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. He'll definitely do something on Instagram at some point. So make sure to check that out, or available on our Instagram. But nevertheless, that aside, we've got the fifth stage of Paris-Niza. Nearly said the Tour de France, but that is not until a few months away. Yeah, sad news. Unfortunately, we've had a number of abandons already, and yeah, that's a big shame for the race. Over, I think, 10 riders didn't start. We have a number. We had 4 riders who haven't finished. Who've gotten off their bike already. So, yeah, a great shame. We don't know really what it was. Is it potentially a flu that's been going through the peloton? You never know if they're feeling a bit under the weather. But yeah. I'll read you the list. I've got it on screen as well. You've got Nilson Paulos, you've got Jens Kugalera, Stefan Bissinger, who was challenging yesterday, Gino Mandel, Bahrain victorious, 3 Israel Premier Tech riders in the form of Tom van Ansbroek, Carl Frederick Hagen, James Piccoli, Nils Pollitt of Bora Hansgrohe, Kevin Vermaak of Team DSM, the American rider, Stenek Stibar, the Czech Republic rider, accompanied with his teammate Jens Lampard, his former teammate Matteo Trentin of UAE Team Emirates, Dylan Groenewegen as well, Amore Capito, the Belgian rider from Alpecin Phoenix, Jay Vine as well from Alpecin Phoenix, Christian Sparagli, the Italian also of Alpecin Phoenix, Clermont Champusson, the French rider of AG2R Citroën, Louis Winovsky of EF Education, Easy Post, Luis Leon Sanchez as well, the second rider not to finish the stage today. So he did start but didn't finish. Alexis Brunel and Tom Booli. So huge list there. 3 of the Swiss riders disappearing from the race. So yeah, absolutely devastating for the race, really, you would say. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, other than that, thank you for joining. 59.6 kilometers left. 7 minutes of an advantage up to the group up the road. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see if they can do anything here. We're early on. We've only got 4 free people watching. This reminds me of the days of doing it on the main channel. So, but nevertheless, 282 meters to this next categorized climb for the breakaway up the front. It's being a bit split at the front, and I can hear you say who is in the breakaway, and I'll just confirm that as well. Yeah, small split, and Movistar, of course. No, Movistar not working for Nairo Quintana. Let me just get that mistake or correction corner, as Ewan started calling it. We've got this breakaway up the front. It's kind of been split a bit. We've got Ruben Fernandez, remember him, of Cofidis, former Tour de l'Avenir winner. Not quite lived up to some of the other riders who won the Tour de l'Avenir in the past. Up here we've got Laurent Pichon as well, and it looks like we are going to have Valentin Madouas take another another mountain classification here on the day. So the Courte de la Tourlau, of course we've got a few more tests, one more categorized climb to go, the Col de la Mure. If any French speakers, just correct me, because my French is not as good as one as our friend Ewan. But nevertheless, continuing with who's in the group, Brendan McNulty in here, Michael Merkur, the lead-out man, Danish rider, former Danish champion, kind of being let off the leash. Matteo Jorgensen, no connection to Denmark, the American rider. Han van Hauke, do you remember him from the Giro in 2020? Owen Duell again in the breakaway, Anthony Turgis, and of course the greatest competitive rider of the Tour de France last year of B&B Hotels, and that is Frank Bonamour. So interesting, but just a confirmation there on who took the maximum points, and Valentin Madouas takes the 5 points available in that KOM sprint. Not really a sprint, but anyways, in the peloton we've got the Irish champion Ryan Mullen showing his colours for Bora Hansgrohe, Jumbo Visma in there as well, Ineos Grenadiers up there, and Mess Pilsen as well, wearing the green jersey, I believe. But of course, the yellow jersey right now is on the shoulders of Wout van Aert. We have got a few names out the back as well. João Almeida is the biggest name, you have to say. Unfortunately, the Portuguese star and of course friend of the peloton, friend of the channel, João Almeida is out the back, and it's a shame to see that, really. Is he? Well, who knows? It's just not really been his week, really, and he was sharing his disappointment of the time trial yesterday as well. But Ineos Grenadier is up here, Jumbo-Visma, Total Energies, of course, and we're just getting a confirmation of the virtual KOM classification in here, and we have got Valentin Madouas is the new KOM leader. I'll just make sure I can see the comments as well, because I can't actually see the comments right now, so I'll make sure to correct that. But anyways, it is very interesting, and I realize I've just said anyways again, but it's very much the calm before the storm. The breakaways still have a lead over 7 minutes, so a lot can still happen today. And yeah, we're seeing the comments now. Great to have you here. Jeff, great to have you here. TBO as well. About 21 riders stepped off. Yeah, it's one of the biggest abandons we've had in a race for a long time. And yeah, just absolutely incredible to see so many riders step off the bike. That's going to be one of the big talking points, well, in the podcast afterwards. If you're wondering where Ewan is somewhere on that final Cascais climb, if I'm not mistaken, or was he on the Côte de Saint-Romain? I can't quite remember what he said, but we'll see if he's made any elaborative stunts later on. Anyways, I'm just trying to update Twitter as well, and we are very much in the early, the calm before the storm, to say the least. But look at that list; it's a whole host of talents. You would have thought maybe it was all the sprinters, but not necessarily. We've got Matteo Jorgensen, of course. I think he crashed. He definitely did crash with Steven Kruijswijk. Did that somehow fluster him? Gino Madère, of course, hasn't had the best week either. So yeah, it's very, very interesting to see this huge list of abandonments at the Paris-Niza. Of course, it is, for many people, this probably isn't the biggest race for them. They've got other targets. It's always this kind of tune-up race in a way. You've kind of got all these other goals. You've got the Spring Classics, many people are using it for. Jumbo-Visma here, like, just absolutely demonstrating their superiority right now and taking control at the front. So yeah, but Nairo is up here as well. Astana up here, David de la Cruz. Can they do something? They don't look like they're going to be challenging the podium like they did last year. Two podium riders, of course, in the form of Alexander Vlasov, who's now with Bora, and then Ion Izagirre, who's now with Cofidis. So finish on the podium for Astana, and they no longer want you, or no longer can keep you. But yeah, Tibio saying Bissinger is shocking. Yeah, he was riding really well yesterday. Of course, he couldn't dethrone the Jumbo Might. We had a 1-2-3 again for Jumbo-Visma. And Rowan Dennis, solid ride for him. But yeah, polka dot jersey is going to change hands today. We're no longer going to have, we're going to have it in French hands after Matt Holmes has been enjoying that for a few stages. So yeah, surprising that Matt Holmes didn't actually go out in the breakaway here. But yeah, Lotto Soudal, they really have to try and get something from this week. No, I don't think they had Andreas Kroon here, the Danish rider who did really well in 2 stage races last year, in the Vuelta a Catalunya and of course in the Tour de Romandy. And of course, Andreas Kroon, he has been on the channel as well. Lovely guy. 55.7 kilometers now. The lead is 6 minutes and 37 seconds. Jumbo-Visma are really coming to the front here, so can they do something here? They are looking so strong. Christophe Laporte is up here. Primož Roglič is just getting rid of a coat here. Wout van Aert, the yellow jersey, you can't really tell it apart almost. But yeah, incredible riding here by the Jumbo-Visma team. They've been so solid. I think the only mishap they've had this week has been, oh shoot, I just realized we haven't got a poll. We will get a poll. What should the poll be? Who will win? Who will win today? Um, should we put it as teams this time to make it a bit more interesting? So we'll say Jumbo-Visma, obviously. Ineos Grenadiers. We've got. We'll put Movistar in there as well because no, Movistar, Cofidis, and Bora. No, I'll have to put other because Quickstep could potentially do something here. But great to have 10 of you here. Of course, I know it's early in the day. It's the extra channel. It is Paris-Niza. It's early on. 54.6 kilometers. And get involved in the comments. And yeah, Jumbo-Visma look like they are well and truly taking over what happened here. But yeah, if you missed it, Remco Evenepoel has been done for speeding as well. Lost his driver's license. Odd story, but yeah, just absolutely weird story. But it is what it is. But at the back of the group, we've got a Quickstep Alpha Vinyl rider, and great to have you here, Paddy, all the way from Ireland. What are we saying? Crashing the stream. What's occurring? I missed yesterday in meetings and all afternoon with UK Customs. What have you missed? Unfortunately, friend of the channel, Joao Almeida, isn't doing that well, so that's a bit of a shame. But we have got a Danish rider up the road. We've got Valentin Madouas sweeping up the points from the breakaway, so it looks like we're going to have a new polka dot jersey. What are we saying here? I had put Bike Exchange instead of Cofidis. Yeah, fair enough. That was one of the talking points as well yesterday. Okay, we'll keep this. Of course, we all know this by now. Limited to 4 choices. YouTube doesn't really understand the notion of guessing riders, but Simon Yates, what a ride from him yesterday. Fastest intermediate time at the first time check. That held all the way to the finish. Of course, many of the riders were riding negative splits. But yeah, good achievement by him. Thrusted him up in the GC as well. And yeah, I think the GC is something we should talk about as well. I'll get the GC page up for us. And I just don't dare to change the page because every time I change, it flips off the Pro Cycling Stats page. And then I have to change all that as well. So I'd rather not. I'd rather keep this page and then change it later on. But if you're wondering where Mr. Critical himself, Ewan, is, he's somewhere on the stage, and we'll have to see if he pops up or later on Instagram if he's gonna share something, and we'll put it as a short as well, potentially as well, on the page as well, on the extra channel. Let's try and do that. It looks like we have a bit of crosswind here, as we just saw Jumbo-Visma going into that crosswind formation. So, it'll be interesting if this affects anything. This stage, we still have got a lumpy section. If you look at it, look at that last 50k we've got coming up. It's very interesting. But in courtesy of Paddy, what have you missed, Paddy? We basically have a huge list of abandonments or non-starters. Tom Borley of Cofidis, Alex Brunel of UAE Team Emirates, Luis Leon Sanchez of Bahrain Victorious, Lucas Wienoszki of EF Education Easy Post, Clément Champusson, that's a big loss for them for AG2R, Jonas Rickert, Christian Sparagli of Alpecin Phoenix, both of them, and Jay Vine, and Aumori Capiot of Team AKS Samsic, Dylan Groenewegen of Bike Exchange, Matteo Trentin of UAE Team Emirates, Stenek Stibar, Yves Lampert, both of Quickstep, Kevin Van Merck of USA, Bora Hansgrohe have lost Nils Pollard, and Israel Premier Tech have lost 3 riders, James Piccoli, Carl Frederick Hagen, Tom Van Ashbrook, Gino Madère of Bahrain Victorious, 3 more Easy Post riders, Nilson Paulus, Jens Kukalera, and Stefan Bissinger. So, I mean, how many people are left from Israel Startup Nation? Have they just absolutely packed it in here? Okay, they haven't done what they normally do, cross off the riders. But is Rudy Barbier still in the race? Nope, he finished on stage 2. Is Boyvin, is he still here? Nope, he's gone as well. I'm just going through the Israel riders. Mass Würz, of course. Yeah, so there's one Israel Stardom Premier Tech rider left, and that is Ugo Ull, the Canadian rider. That's it. There's one Israel rider left, so that'll be an interesting dinner table if he finishes today. Just him by himself with his 1 years. And yeah, that would be quite funny. A whole bus just dedicated to one rider going around the region of Paris-Nice. I'll try and see if I can get an interview with him, because no secret, I am in Nice right now. And of course, we will try and see what we can get in terms of the race. But yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the... yeah, TBO just saying there as well. Ugo, the last rider left for Israel. But yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. We've got 7 likes so far. Vote in the poll. 57% of you believe it's going to be Jumbo-Visma. None of you believe it's going to be Ineos Grenadiers or Cofidis. So apologies for putting that up as a choice. But yeah, and I promised you the GC, so let's get you the GC. I was completely what should I say, carried away by that incredible list of non-starters we have today. But I'll get you the, what should we say, top 15? No, that's top 15 of the stage. Top 15 of the GC is what we want from yesterday. Of course, there's no secret who is number 1. And quite surprisingly, Clermont-Saint-Bisson, who dropped off, who didn't start or didn't finish. Could have been a crash. Don't know what happened here. But in terms of the GC, here we go. Don't worry, the graphic's going to come back. I'll just have it momentarily on here. Wout van Aert, number 1. Of course, we know that. No secret in that. Moved up 1 place. Primož Roglič moved 1 place up as well. 10 seconds behind his teammate. Christophe Laporte, unfortunately, was the victim there, moving down to 3rd place. Then we have the closest rider who isn't a Jumbo-Visma rider, Simon Yates, 49 seconds down. Very interesting. Could be on for a podium this race. Then we have Pierre Latour, the best hope for the French, moved up 1 place as well into 5th. Mers Pillersen moved down 2 places. 53 seconds down. He's of course going to disappear, I think, on this stage, or maybe he can keep up there, but we did see him doing a bit of work for his teammate. So who was he working for? Trek Segafredo? Any takers in the comments? Let me know who Trek Segafredo are going to be working for, because I'm not quite sure, to be honest. But anyways, carrying on. Danny Martinez, he's going to be very interesting. Very good time trialist, as he's shown. 1 minute and 6 seconds down. Could he be on for a top 10 potentially, or even sneak onto the podium? The nationless rider of Alexander Vlasov is in 8th place for Bora Hansgrohe, 1 minute and 9 seconds down. Stefan Biesinger, who has collided off the bike, is no longer here, so it doesn't matter what he's on. Søren Kragh Andersen, 10th place. Adam Yates in 11th, so he shoots up. Jasper Stuyven, Jack Haig, Brian Kokar, Dylan Manbar, Clement Champusson, and then finally in 17th we've got Nairo Quintana, who I've just realized I haven't shown you on the list. But absolutely incredible, this list of riders who've disappeared. But anyways, in the break, to remind you, we've got the former Tour de l'Avenir champion Ruben Fernandez. Remember him? Quite a niche name to remember. He was a movie star, kind of didn't live up to his potential. Where have we heard that before? Yes, TBO. Yes, I did. But yeah, Ruben Fernandez, I was really excited about him. Spanish winner of the race. I think he was the first winner of the Tour de l'Avenir for a long time for the Spanish. Of course, Marc Soler has won it since then. But Brendan McNulty is out in front. Is he just looking to get some miles in? Of course, we have mentioned that on countless times, that a lot of these riders are using this as a tune-up race for the various targets, the Giro, the Spring Classics. Like, that's why this race is in such a unique position in the calendar here, because it's so close to the Giro, but it's also so close to it's so immediate to the Spring Classics. So you have this huge, what should you call it, mix of riders and different goals, but no one really targets Paris-Nice in its outright. So is that disrespecting the race? I don't think so. I think Paris-Nice knows what Paris-Nice is. You don't need to explain Paris-Nice, the role of Paris-Nice. But yeah, interesting what will happen here. 48.3 kilometers to go. nearly less than 6 kilometers, 6 minutes of a lead now. So it could be coming down now as they all kind of have their piss break, the peloton, and for whatever reason, the director has decided to put the camera on the back where all the riders are relieving themselves. Okay, suggestions for next poll, because I think my poll was a bit rubbish, and I will take suggestions. So next poll is up to you guys, and yeah, too many Paris-Nice in one sentence. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, Nils Pollard, but Clement Champisson, that is the highest rider. No, actually, Stefan Biesinger is the highest rider who got off his bike, and he was wearing the white jersey. So that's a shame. If anyone knows what happened to Stefan Biesinger, I'm not quite sure if there was a crash. Let's see if Pro Cycling Stats knows. But Nilsen Paulus going off. Yeah, so many good riders in there. And yeah, what a shame. What a shame. But Ryan Mullen in the back of the group here. Who are Trek Segafredo working for? Of course, he's riding for Bora, but Trek Segafredo, who are they working for? Matt Holmes at the back, near the back here, of course, losing that jersey by the end of the stage. Wasn't there in the breakaway, was not challenging. That is a good question. Where will Nairo finish on the stage? Let's have that poll. Of course, many of you know that my girlfriend is a super Nairo fan, so just makes it even more funny. Of course, he has such a big following in Colombia. Rightly so. It seems like he's been such a good figure for the sport. He helped out with the pandemic as well back in Colombia, and he hasn't done like many of these bike riders, disappeared off to Monaco. He lives in Colombia for the most of the time. Where will Nairo finish? Where will Nairo finish today? So we'll say a win, top 5, top 10, or other. Other. So we're getting ever closer to that big test, the final categorized climb. Of course, there's one more climb that's uncategorized climb, or uncategorized. Let's get that right. So it'll be fascinating to see if we see any moves from the GC group. Of course, they've slowly been pegging away on this deficit they have to the breakaways out in front. It's less than 6 minutes now. It was about 7 minutes 15 when we got on air. So when was that? That was only a few minutes ago. So yeah. But anyways, we've got the poll. It's up and running. 6 of you have voted. Most of you thinking a top 5 here, or a top 10. No one daring to say a top 1 in the form of winning. But Christophe Laporte, of course, has been one of the names of Paris-Nice so far, winning a stage, courtesy of his 2 teammates not contesting it, of course. And then, who knows? Well, Laporte versus Wout van Aert in a sprint, I would definitely back Wout van Aert for sure. He seems like he can do absolutely everything here. So yeah. If you're wanting to be a professional bike rider, head down to your cyclocross course, it seems. But yeah, Jumbo-Visma are leading this. Bike Exchange are second right now in terms of the peloton, so they are potentially looking to do something here with Simon Yates today. That would be quite fascinating. Simon Yates, where's the highest he's finished in Paris-Nice? 2018, 2019, is that what we're looking towards? Golden a bonus point that we will. Oh, by the way, there's a competition being announced tomorrow on the channel as well, so look out for that. I know I've said competitions before, but it's associated with a video, so look out. Well, not this channel, tomorrow's the main channel. There's going to be a competition announced, courtesy of one of our friends, former editor of Rouleur, so that's going to be very interesting. But here we go. We've got Bill Hagen. Great to have you here. Any relation to Carl Frederick Hagen? Ricky, great to have you here as well. Told you. Feed bucket. What are we saying? I missed out on that. But Primoz Roglic in here. Long-haired Primoz Roglic. 5 minutes and 58 seconds behind the lead group. 44.8 kilometers now. And yeah, get involved in the chat, get involved in the poll, let us know where you're from, hit the like button. Let's try and beat our Paris-Nice high score. I'm not even sure what our high score is on the extra channel. Of course, we'll get nowhere near the main channel. Our record as a community, I think, is in the thousands. That was courtesy of the Olympics. Remember that crazy time when, yeah, unfortunately, had to get up very, very early. And but anyways, in terms of our record, yesterday it was 38 likes. 46 is our record. 46 likes is our extra channel stream record. So that's on the record now of this stage. So if you haven't already, contribute to that. But yeah, that breakaway up in the front, do we think it's going to stay away? And if that group stays away, I would love to see Ruben Fernandez take this win. I really think Ruben Fernandez is a rider who had so much promise and not quite lived up to it in a way. Oh, and Ewan has a very interesting video coming up as well on the channel. I think potentially tomorrow or Saturday. I'm trying not to spoil things here, but yeah. Anyways, talking about Ruben Fernandez, won the Tour de l'Avenir back in 2013, then went to Cara Rual. Had a few years there before he was picked up by Movistar. His best kind of finishes have been a second place in a stage in the Vuelta a España, 6th overall in the Tour Down Under in 2016, 6th as well in the Tour de Poland in 2016 and 2015. He was also 5th in the Santos Tour Down Under, 9th last year. I remember that in the UAE Tour. That was really exciting because it looked like he was going to bounce back, kind of like live up to this potential of being a Tour de l'Avenir winner. He's not won any pro stages yet, which is a shame. And actually, we've got a video on Where Are They Now, so I'll just share that with you guys. If you want to see it, it's up to you. It was on the main channel a few months ago. It was on the Tour de l'Avenir, Where Are They Now? And I went through each winner. But yeah, Adam Yates is also here, of course. Very good season from him as already. He's done what he usually does. Good start at the Tour de l'Avenir. The Tour de l'Avenir. The UAE Tour following Tadej Pogačar as well, his closest rival. And but anyways, on Ruben Fernandez, it's just wasted potential potentially. And I just think if he hadn't gone to Carual, if he had gone to a team that potentially could have nurtured him more, would he have been able to do something? And in that Tour de l'Avenir, to put in perspective, was Adam Yates. So he finished ahead of Adam Yates, 55 seconds. Okay, that doesn't really mean that much. And Simon Yates was in 10th place on that year's edition. David Formolo was in 6th place. So it's like Patrick Conrad in 3rd place. So it's big names that he was beating. And you're like, his career just hasn't lived up to that hype that we associate with Tour de l'Avenir winners. So yeah, that was a tangent and a half. And but anyways, we are getting very close now. Well, closer. 41.9 kilometers left now. Jumbo-Visma are in control at the front. Which one is the leader? That is the question. Because of course they have that yellow jersey. But Wout van Aert in control of the race. Jumbo-Visma kind of having this backup plan, if you will, after what shall we say? What shall we say that? Oh shoot, we do actually have a video of Ewan. I'll share that as well in the stream on our Twitter page. We got Ewan. He got the breakaway not long ago, actually 5 minutes ago. So let's just share that with you. So make sure to check out our. I know it seems like I'm plugging quite a lot, but it's actually relevant here because Ewan's at that stage. He's on that climb where the breakaway were a few moments ago. So yeah, apologies for the oversharing of links and whatnot, but it's crucial. It's relevant. It's not like I'm saying buy our energy drink or whatever. But yeah, Ineos Grenadiers, what can they do? Bahrain victorious as well, losing Gino Madère. That's going to be a big loss for them. Vlasov, that's going to be interesting to see if he can move up today. And yeah, it's a lot of things happening here. 40 kilometers to go. It's going to be an exciting 40 kilometer finish here. But it is really much the calm before the storm here. 6 minutes and 3 seconds now. The lead's increased a bit for the breakaway out in front. Brendan McNulty, that's another name. Could he potentially be the rider to win out of this breakaway group? And yeah, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get this channel to 1,000 before the Giro d'Italia, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Of course, we won't be doing all our streaming on this channel. Most of the big races will be on the main channel. No disrespect to you, Paris-Nice. But yeah, there will be a few funny videos on the main channel about Paris-Nice. I'm not going to share anything. I'm really bad at keeping secrets. So, because I'm so excited, so I want to, like, because I'm excited about it, so I want to share it. But anyways, 7.2 kilometers left of the final Cascais climb of the day. So, yeah, it is a very small group we have now at the front. So it's a small peloton. And if you're just joining us, of course, we have this huge list of non-starters and people who have not finished the stage as well in a long time. I think everyone's favorite GC commentator, Rob Hatch, or Eurosport commentator, he actually said it was the first time in 10 years that they've had so many people climb off the bike. Was it flu going around, or was it people didn't really fancy these final couple of stages that are really hard in Paris-Nice this year? But yeah, anyways, consulting our poll, where will Nairo Quintana finish today? 17 of you have voted. Nobody has voted for him taking the win. Nobody. So no faith in Nairo Man, unfortunately. And any Colombian fans will probably be disgruntled. I think that also proves that we haven't got no Colombians in the chat right now. So will that change coming towards the finish? But 40 kilometers is what we've got left now. 12% is what the lead group are challenged on right now. Michael Mørkøv, if they don't get rid of Michael Mørkøv, potentially he could do something in the sprint. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. It's such a shame. Sorry, someone just answered on one of the videos that apparently we left out Ryan Gibbons in the UAE ranking video. Yeah, and we did, and yeah, I feel bad about that. The African national champion, no, the African continental champion as well. But nevertheless, I digress. Stop going off on tangents, Scott. 6.6 kilometers, 39.7 kilometers left, and the lead has increased to 6 minutes and 15 seconds, and I think it might be one for the breakaway soon. So this could be very, very interesting. So yeah. Yeah, just incredible, really. But yeah, Ewan just messaging me. He is, of course, on the climb, so we'll see if we can see him. Will he be visible? We haven't seen him thus far, so yeah, who knows? But Arkea Samsic got a breakaway. Well, who have we got in the breakaway? We haven't really reminded ourselves of that lately. In the breakaway, over 6 minutes up the road, Ruben Fernandez, Laurent Pichot of Arkea Samsic, Valentin Madouaz of Groupama FDJ, Brendan McNulty of UAE Emirates, Michael Mørkøv, and that's the best pronunciation you will hear on all English-speaking commentaries. Matteo Jorgensen, of course he's Danish. I was trying to get Michael Mørkøv on the channel a few times, but got vetoed by Quickstep. Thanks for that, Quickstep. Michael Mørkøv wanted to, but Quickstep said no. Apparently the cycling Dane isn't big enough for them. But they've had other people from their team on here, so I thought that was a bit peculiar. Hum and Hauken here as well. We all remember him from the Giro d'Italia 2020. Lotto Soudal, he could be interesting dark horse here. Owen Doull could be very interesting. The Welshman, of course, with EF Education Easy Post after changing for the first time in a while from Ineos Grenadiers. Anthony Turgis, of course, the rider who's been fourth in the what are we saying here? He's about 40 kilometers from the finish, so we should see him somewhere on the screen potentially. But yeah, UAE Team Emirates are making a move. Brendan McNulty, he's seeing this as the opportunity now. So Ricky's saying Jorgensen, an American rider in the lead group 2. Yeah, so 2 American riders. We're getting a bit of a split here. Owen Doull is going out the back of this group just as I panned away to check on something else. So big movements in the group now, in the breakaway group. Well, Brendan McNulty is the one who attacked off the front. Will he be able to sustain this? We're very far from the finish line, of course, but like when you look at it, get to the top, you have your own line. You can somewhat, you can pick and choose your own line. You can, well, if you're a good descender, build up a lead as well there. If you're the better climber, build up a lead as well on that uncategorized climb where the intermediate sprint is, and then of course coming down the other side, another descent. So it's it could be a good mood. We've of course seen breakaway riders do a similar thing in the past and come off victorious. You never know really. But anyways, in the main group, they brought it down now to 5 minutes and 34 seconds now. So they have started to make a bit of a movement here for them. 5.6 kilometers to the top for the breakaway riders. The peloton are slowly reeling it in here, and maybe that's also what Brendan McNulty's been hearing in his radio, is that the peloton have started to up the tempo because we are on a climb here. 5.5 kilometers for Brendan McNulty to the top. No Michael Melko here, unfortunately, so any Danish fans, it's not going to be happening. Great to have Anne in the chat as well. Do you think anyone was sandbagging yesterday to stay fresh for these tougher stages? That is a good question. Of course, you always have to make the calculation. Are you going to make the calculation? Like Sean Kelly, I can't do an Irish. Apologies, Paddy, for that very bad Irish impersonation. I can do Northern Irish, though. Lived in Northern Ireland, so luck in the mar. I don't know where that absolutely came from. But Matteo Jorgensen, the countryman of Brendan McNulty, is not willing to let his countryman go here, as he's the rider at the front of this, the remnants of the breakaway group. Valentin Madouas, of course, he wants points. Harm van Hauke is starting to rock side to side, so doesn't look like it's going to be a Belgian victory today. And at the back we can see, speaking of Irish, pseudo-Irish, I would say, Ryan Mullen going at the back. If you've heard his accent, it's definitely not Irish. But if you want to hear an Irish accent, go to Sam Bennett. Not been having the best start to the season. Matt Holmes going out the back as well. Kevin Gignac, the Luxembourg champion, out the back of this main group as well. Trek Alfredo losing a rider. This front group is very, very select now, to say the least. But there's a huge group that's been dropped as well. Plenty of Bike Exchange riders, plenty of Bora riders. Total Energies here at the front, and I think we need to share that image because we can just see the Jumbo-Visma bossing it at the front, doing what they do best with Ineos Grenadiers and Total Energies. So some good riding here from 3 of the teams to just control things at the front. But our Kayak Samsic for Nairo Quintana, maybe our pole isn't going to be as ridiculous as I was thinking. They are pushing on the pace. They have got, of course, a rider up the front. Yeah, as Ricky said, 22 riders dropped out of the race today. Something going around. Yeah, could potentially be flu. Could potentially be some other thing that we won't really dwell on too much. But Brendan McNulty still out in front here. The American rider, former winner of the Giro de Sicily. And the former rally rider. He really should do something here. UAE Team Emirates. Bad news for them. Joao Almeida off the back. Will he even finish the stage today? I think he should. Good training, good racing training for him. And hopefully he can say hi to me once again in Nice. He gave a wave yesterday, 2 days ago in Orléans. Of course, they have the protocol that with the riders that they shouldn't really be 2 days ago, 3 days ago even. But yeah, anyways, Arkea Samsic at the front of the group now, really bossing it. Connor Swift, it looks like. No, it can't be. Connor Swift. Very nice Yorkshireman. Looks like he is putting the pace on for his young, young not so more, but his very strong leader. Christophe Laporte disappears now, so the top three GC fairy tale that he has been having is not going to be happening anymore. Great to have Cycling and Sports subscribing. Thank you for the subscription, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. But Arkea Samsic are putting the hammer down here. Arkea Samsic, I'll just make a note of that as well for the podcast. But Arkea Samsic have started putting the hammer down here. Wout van Aert out the back. Wout van Aert out the back. So that answers questions. That answers the questions that we have had. Wout van Aert out the back. And we are going to have a new leader here. New top three. Yeah, that is very shocking here. Wout van Aert out the back. This is not good news. Well, not good news for any Wout van Aert fans. And yeah, what a shame, really. What a shame. I was hoping that it could potentially be. I was hoping it was going to be a Wout van Aert victory in Paris-Niza this year. But yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's a shame, really. It's a big shame. But they won't really care. They've got Primož Roglič in there. Whatever's happened now, we've got David Gaudu dropping out the back. He has lasted a bit longer than he has some of the other stages in the main group. But David Gaudu is going through a really bad time in this race. And yeah, what a shame. What a shame for him. But big story there. Wout van Aert dropping out the back. The yellow jersey is going to change hands. And will it stay within Jumbo-Visma again? That is the big question. Or will we have Primož Roglič wear the yellow jersey for the first time in this race since last year on the final stage? Great to have you here with us, Alexa. Remember, from Austria. We're talking about Patrick Conrad early on. But yeah, Wout van Aert out the back. Big shock there. Yeah, but Arkea Samsic have been the instigators of that Wout loss, that bit of acceleration. We still have Rowan Dennis in there. Rowan Dennis is still in there with Primož Roglič. So Danny Martinez very strong as well. Adam Yates, Brendan McNulty still out in front. 35 seconds for him in front of his breakaway out the back. So it's gonna be a new yellow jersey. Brendan McNulty won't give it anything. I nearly swore there about monkeys about Wout van Aert going out the back. So this will be very interesting to see what if Primož Roglič has the legs here. We're hoping he does for their sakes. But yeah, it's a shame really. But Arkea Samsic are really putting everything on here. For them, Rowan Dennis up here, great to see him, very strong. This is the Rowan Dennis that they were hoping for, the secret weapon that we insinuated on. No Paris-Nice win for Wout van Aert. But yeah, what extraordinary scenes that we're getting at the front. Good showing here. They're really showing that they are not really a pro-continental team. They are bossing the other World Tour teams here. So yeah, 2.9 kilometers now. Mads Pedersen out the back as well. So any Danish fans, unfortunately, we're not going to keep one of us Danish stars in that front group. So yeah, it's a shame. It's a big shame there. But Wout van Aert out the back. Let's just share that image as well. Quite iconic image. But yeah, so his day. Well, it's kind of job done for him really, because he's been so solid. But his reign, staying inside the top three on all the stages, yeah, not gonna happen anymore, unfortunately. So a shame for him. and his run of this extraordinary form that he's been having this road season isn't, well, in terms of results, he still has amazing form. But yeah, this pole, yeah, as we said, it's beginning to look a bit less ridiculous now with Akaya Samsic bossing it at the front. And yeah, do let me know, as Alexa did, as Padia and etc. all are familiar names in the chat where you're watching from. I'm in Nice. Don't worry, we will have stuff coming out of Nice. Funny stuff as well, and not just journalistic stuff. But yeah, Guillaume Martin looks like he's attacking off the front here. So Guillaume Martin just moving here off the front. So good ride here from the former top 10 finisher at the Tour de France last year and top 10 finisher at the Vuelta a España. Rowan Dennis is controlling things at the front, so could he be the secret weapon for one Primož Roglič in the Tour de France? Really strong effort here by Rowan Dennis, controlling things at the front of the peloton. But they're 5 minutes and 18 seconds down. 45 seconds between Brendan McNulty and the second group on the road. And yeah, could Ruben Fernandez potentially be, well, what should we say, a pawn for Guillaume Martin here? Guillaume Martin, of course, not the best right now in terms of the GC, behind Brian Coquard. So that just shows you how far down he is. But of course, many of these riders will use this as training, and he could potentially think further on. This is really good training for a race situation. I'm trying to find where Guillaume Martin is. He's not in the top 30, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's very far down. So I wonder why he didn't go for the polka dot jersey today. Stay there out in the break. Ruben Fernandez, of course, didn't really challenge for it either. So yeah, I can't see Guillaume Martin. So let's do control find. 37th right now. 3 minutes and 26 seconds down in GC, and that just answers why he wasn't in the breakaway, because he definitely wouldn't have been let out in the breakaway with that time. But interesting situation on the road for sure. Things are happening. It's the fireworks. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Help us get to that 1,000. And yeah, Ewan, of course, is somewhere on the course. And I believe he is going to make a little funny video about that as well, a kind of a vlog. So that should be some good content coming up as well. And he's got a good video coming up tomorrow or Saturday in terms of a feature on the main channel. So I won't spoil anything. I am so bad at spoiling things, so I won't do that. But anyways, in the group behind Brendan McNulty, we've got a split. Ruben Fernandez, I was talking about earlier, the 2013 Tour de l'Avenir winner, unfortunately has dropped out of the back. Has he dropped back because Guillaume Martin is coming up from the peloton? Who knows? And Owen Dool is at the back as well of that second chasing group, or the first chasing group on the road, chasing Brendan McNulty. But looks like Nairo Man is attacking. Nairo Man is attacking. So Rowan Dennis is trying to control Nairo Man, but Nairo Man is attacking. Has he seen our pole? Is that what's going on here? He's seen the pole and he wants to attack. That is what's going on here. But anyways, to remind anyone, our record on this channel is 46 likes on the stream. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like. We are 39 currently in the chat, so we're missing a few likes to get to 46. But yeah, how will the peloton react now to Nairo Man? We saw Akira Samsic put that blistering pace that sent Wout van Aert at the back, and potentially Nairo Man is thinking of clawing some time back. He's of course 1 minute and 55 seconds down in the GC. Brendan McNulty, I hear you say, 1 kilometer from the finish here, number 81. Why was he given the one in the team? Who knows? But 12% sector here for him. The American, very strong rider. I still have some bitterness towards him after what he did to Tadej Pogačar, somewhat indirectly at the Tour of the Basque Country. I know, of course, he had that weird, unusual crash in the Tour de France, but absolutely extraordinary rider. kind of the fresh air, or the fresh breath, the fresh air to this American generation coming up. Of course, we've got Luke Lamperty coming up. We've got Quinn Simmons. We've got Magnus Sheffield. The Americans' new generation is looking very strong, to say the least, and should be very exciting. And two of them here in the front group, in Matteo Jorgensen and, of course, as we said, also Brendan McNulty. But Rowan Dennis is doing a solid ride at the front here, controlling fares, bringing Arkea Samsic back. They did bring Nairo Quintana back, so Nairo's attack has been neutralized, unfortunately, for any Colombian fans. And yeah, it looks like we're also going to sweep up the Arkea Samsic rider who was in the break earlier. 5 minutes and 18 seconds for the peloton to Brendan McNulty, so it could well and truly be a solo victory for Brendan McNulty here, and what a welcome one that would be. He's 500 meters away from the top of the last Cascaraz climb. Of course, we got one more on Cascaraz climb. So that should be interesting. 460 meters now. 57 seconds for him in front of the chasing group, so the lead is building up for him. And of course, all the riders have been out in the breakaway, so definitely could do something here. They're all tired, well, somewhat tired, or using up the energy reserves. So Brendan McNulty just staggeringly good pace here, but Joao Almeida, big sad story for UAE Team Emirates. So it's a shame, really, but Rowan Dennis is leading up his former teammate Adam Yates as riding second wheel here for Ineos Grenadiers. Can he do something? Nairo Quintana in there. And we have another subscriber, so that's great to see as well. Ondra Pavlik, I think you've subscribed to the main channel as well. Muliasa. Yeah, keep them coming, guys, because I need to make sure we have the alert up as well, so we see it when it appears on the screen. But Brendan McNulty coming up to the finish now of the final Cascaraz climb on the stage. If you want to see your name flash up, unsubscribe and subscribe again, because yeah, it's on now. I've managed to put it on now, so if you want to see your name, subscribe and unsubscribe of the channel, and then you'll see it. But nevertheless, Brendan McNulty, not a subscriber of the channel. 33 kilometers to go for him. 1 minute of a lead now, and we'll see who will come up the rear now. Who will take those minor points, or not really minor, because he's only taking the first place in terms of the mountain classification here. So yeah, it's getting very, very interesting here. Will Brendan McNulty keep it away? And who would we say in that second group could potentially take the points? Valentin Madouas, of course, in the virtual mountains jersey here. He will dearly love to take this jersey. Han van Hauke is second place. So Valentin Madouas had 28 points going into this final climb. There we go. Skyscraper. Great to have you here. Another familiar name. Great to have so many familiar names from the main channel on this channel. Really backing up this little channel. And yeah, there we go. Keep them coming, guys. Adolfo Gonzalez, you'll see your name flash up. So nice little feature there from Streamlabs, not Cycles. But in that second group on the road, we're going to see who's going to challenge for those points. They're coming up. Of course, they only had a lead 1 minute deficit, 1 minute 10 now, so it's increased ever more. And are we gonna back the 5? It looks like we have a 5-man group in the second group against Brendan McNulty. Can they make up this chase potentially? And who knows, really. And Pro Cycling Stats was saying it was I can just hear my girlfriend listening to Eurosport instead of me, so betrayal. But 31.2 kilometers, 1 minute and 10 seconds, it's still around there, and the deficit to the main group, 5 minutes and 28 seconds, hasn't changed that much. Joao Almeida is back in that group, so Joao Almeida, we did hear he was dropped early on in the stage, but he is back in the group, so great to see the Portuguese superstar back in that group. But Adam Yates riding second wheel to Rowan Dennis, and then we've got Danny Martinez on Adam Yates' wheel, Nairo Quintana on Danny Martinez's wheel, and then Alexander Vlasov down there as well, and Primoz Roglic as well. So Jumbo-Visma doing their share of the work here. 30.4 kilometers is all that we have left here. And yeah, we didn't actually see who crossed the line here in terms of the free chasers. So it's a three-man group behind Brendan McNulty, Matteo Jorgensen, Harm van Hauke, and Frank Bonamois, the most competitive, or the winner of the super competitive rider of the Tour de France 2021. And yeah, potentially an interview guest on the channel later on. I think Ewan's going to try. He has been in talks with him, so that will be interesting. I have spoiled something, but it wasn't the big secrets. So you've got those little nuggets there. So I'm so bad with the secrets or the spoiling stuff. Need to keep it interesting, Scott. But anyways, I think it's time for a new poll, as 33 of you have voted. If you haven't already, quickly get your votes in the poll. Michael Mørkøv has been dropped. It looks like he is going to be caught now from Guillaume Martin. We haven't mentioned Guillaume Martin. Of course, somewhere in between Brendan McNulty, the second chasing group on the road, and the main guys. He's got 500 meters to the summit. So Guillaume Martin, is he able to keep himself ahead of the peloton? Who knows? And we'll have to see how many people have actually saved the energy. He's got literally nothing, Guillaume Martin, on the peloton. So wasted attack here for the Frenchman. So he will be caught very soon as well. Number 76 for Groupama FDJ is struggling at the back. Is that Valentin Madouas? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, 28.7 kilometers now for Brendan McNulty. Is of course not on the climb like the peloton. He's on the descent now, so just making sure he can maintain that. It is looking like we are going to get Brendan McNulty taking the win here, so we will have another poll to reflect that. And yeah, we should have the breakaway at the front. So 11% is where the peloton are. I think Jack Haig is still in there. Rowan Dennis still bossing it at the front. Michael Mørkøv trying his best to stay ahead. Guillaume Martin sees the peloton behind, so he kicks once again. Who's the favorite for today? That is a good one. Can the peloton make up 5 minutes, Alexa? I think that is a big effort here. That would they even do it? Okay, 28 kilometers, the rule we normally say on the flat stage. 1 minute for 10 kilometers. Bit different now on this stage because we have this uncatch rise climb. We have descents as well. So I think 1 minute per 10k is probably reasonable here. Yeah, Alexa saying Niderman not ready for the task this week. That is probably true. But yeah, winner of the stage. Who will win the stage? Who will win the stage? Brendan McNulty, of course. McNulty. What should we say? Should we say chasing group? Group 2, which is Jorgensen. Great to have you back, Paddy. Yeah, I encourage you to do it. Unsubscribe and subscribe to get your name flashing up. Pretty funny. But in the second group, we've got Harm van Hauke. I'm going to do it as groups to make it a bit more interesting. Bonamois. I can't do that, so it'll just be Bo. That means Bonamois if you're looking at the poll. But yeah, this chasing group behind is 3 men. Then we've got Guillaume Martin somewhere, and then we'll put someone from the peloton. Someone from the peloton. So that's your options. A very weird poll options, but you've got it now. So new poll, and great to have so many of you here. I know it's not the Tour de France. I know it's not the main channel. I know it's not all these things. And yeah, so I really appreciate every single one of you being here. But 16 seconds is what Guillaume Martin has of a lead to the peloton. You would thought that would be neutralized And yeah, make sure to let me know as well who you think's gonna win. Just write that down as well. You don't have to respect the you don't have to respect the options. Like, who do I think is gonna win? I think Brendan McNulty is gonna win, so I'll put that down now. Brendan McNulty will win. He will win, and yeah, it would be a welcome win for UAE Team Emirates. No Tadej Pogacar, of course, in the stage today. Not even following really Tirreno Adriatico. Of course, they've got their big star Tadej Pogacar in there. So can they do something there? Tirreno. It's really annoying that we have two good races going on at the same time. You would have loved to have done both of them. Actually, you know what? We can hang on at the end and do Tirreno if that's easier. I don't mind doing that if you guys want to do that as well. Because there's 60 kilometers left of that stage, so we're more or less going to be close to that finish because we've got a bit of a kicker in that race. And yeah, that's basically what's going on there. See if Tadej Pogacar can take yet another victory. But Brendan McNulty, interesting character, interesting rider. USA, probably one of their leading hopes in terms of GC, you would say. Or have I absolutely just misspoken completely? But 19 seconds of a lead now for Guillaume Martin, extending that lead. 25.1 kilometers left. Brendan McNulty still holding on to that lead at the front, so should be very interesting. Unfortunately, it wasn't a day for Ruben Fernandez, the Cofidis rider, and potentially he is able to be some sort of a pawn for his teammate Guillaume Martin. But yeah, that just shows like great potential in your under 23 years. Doesn't almost culminate for that. So should be interesting for sure. Where was I going with that? It's just that we've got Jack and Ewan also messaging, and yeah, Ewan somewhere on the road, and I think it's around the 40 kilometers to go, and he's heading to Tunisia tomorrow. So well-traveled gentleman, that's for sure. But 24.2 kilometers left now. 5 minutes and 22 seconds for Guillaume Martin to make up if he wants to take the victory over Brendan McNulty. But Brendan McNulty is riding solidly right now. 5 minutes and 46 seconds for the main peloton. So they have let up here. And if you haven't already, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Your name will flash up. Good things will happen. And hit the like button so we can try and beat our record on this channel. Nowhere near our main channel because that's like 1,000 in the 1,000. I think 1,500 was the most likes we've ever had on stream. But on this one, it's 46 likes is the record. But it looks like Rowan Dennis is doing his best job as managing the situation in the main peloton here. So that is very interesting to see how strong he is. And was it Paris-Niza? No, it was Criterium du Dauphiné. He had a very good result with Garmin Sharp or Garmin back in the day. I've always been a fan of Rowan Dennis, the rider. I know some people think he's a bit controversial, but I think he's a good rider, a really solid rider, and I have no idea why Ineos Grenadiers did what they did last year. Basically parked him on the substitute bench in a way. He won a stage in the Volta Catalunya, of course, and wasn't put in any Grand Tours. So what a waste. Such a solid, strong rider. He can really be up there. And you can see now Wout van Aert's dropped off, and he's the last rider for Primož Roglič in this group. So yeah, Ineos Grenadiers. Of course, they have countless more strong riders in that team. What are we saying here? Onda is saying, I hope Roglič will win. That's not looking too likely. Skyscraper saying, I'm glad you've shaved the beard. I thought you were preparing for the role of Hagrid in Harry Potter remakes. I don't think I'm tall enough to be Hagrid, to be honest. So, yeah, 175 is not that tall in terms of Hagrid. But, yeah. Anyways, Julius, great to have you here from the Philippines as well. But Rowan Dennis still at the front, slaving at the front for Jumbo-Visma, just riding comfortably, and Jumbo-Visma just using paris-niza as a training. The big concern now is that Primož Roglič, there is no second rider now as a backup choice. Primož Roglič, we all know his bad record in crashing in World Tour French stage races. Criterium du Dauphiné 2020, the Tour de France the last year, and of course Paris-Nice last year. So has this silly record or silly hat trick of bad luck, and yeah, let's hope it doesn't carry on in this year's edition. What are we saying? Ricky's saying McNulty doesn't need to take any chances on this twisty descent. Yeah, it is a very, very twisty descent. Of course, twisty descents can always produce some bad luck, and yeah, let's hope none of the riders are caught out here. And yeah, we're gonna make sure to stay on for Tirreno later on. 21.5 kilometers, 6 minutes and 3 seconds of a deficit, so it's gone out a bit more for the peloton. Wout van Aert is 13 minutes down. 13 minutes down. So he's well and truly taken the gas off the pedal. And yeah, Oda, it's a shame that, yeah, Zdeněk Stybar from your country, apparently, Czech Republic. Skyscraper, where do people think Laporte will end up on GC? I don't know much about his history. He's basically a sprinter, so I don't think he's already been dropped, so he's already out of GC. So unfortunately, he's not in that top 3 anymore. He's more of a sprinter, of course. He has won the Étoile de Bessèges before, won time trials before, but he is more of a sprinter kind of rider. Classics, he's definitely been brought in for Wout van Aert in the classics and potentially lead-out duties as well. Oda is saying, yeah, this stage looks interesting here. Yeah, it definitely is an interesting stage. So many DNS and DNFs of the stage today. So yeah, very, very peculiar to say the least. But yeah, interesting stuff. 20.2 kilometers left for the leader now, out in front, and yeah, what can Brendan McNulty do this season as well? That's probably another good question. Such a strong rider, shown such good potential, such a young rider as well. Of course, we have the phenomena of Remco Evenepoel, Tadej Pogačar, etc., that have kind of ruined expectations somewhat for young riders. They have this huge pressure on their shoulders now from such a young age. If you're new here, make sure to hit the like button. We are on 32 likes. We are 14 likes away from our record this week. That was, of course, on stage 1. And we'll have to see if we can emulate that or even surpass it today. No Ewan. Ewan is currently on the stage somewhere, 40 kilometers to go. And as Ricky's saying, Rowan Dennis is leading the peloton. What a move from him. And yeah, let's see if I can try and persuade some of our other people on the channel, Ewan or Jack, to try and join the channel here as well, in the chat. Yeah, what will happen today? That is the big question. Can we see an attack here from the likes of Simon Yates? 18.6 kilometers, 6 minutes and 11 now, and 1 minute of a lead. So it hasn't changed that much really. For Brendan McNulty, he's kind of kept this advantage somewhat intact. And that's really good for any American fans, any UAE Team Emirates fans. It looks like it's going to be another victory for them. I think UAE Team Emirates actually have the most wins this season already. Of course, they've already ridden superbly in a number of races, one of them being the Trofeo La Gualia. Of course, I did the breakdown of that race on the channel. If you haven't seen that, make sure to watch that. It's an interesting race. They had suddenly 3 men in a 5-man group up the road. So, But UAE Team Emirates looks like they're going to get another stage victory here unless someone can deny them from that second group. Great to have you here, Kevin, subscribing as well. Let's try and see if we can get to 1,000 subs before the Giro. That is the target. And then good things will happen. We'll see if we... I don't know if traveling to the Giro, is that a good thing? Should we do it? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But definitely going to go to the Tour because of the Tour, the Grand Depart in Denmark. But 17.3 kilometers to go. We have the second group now. There's two riders, Frank Bonnemois and Matteo Jorgensen. So we could potentially have a 1-2 American rider finish here. But yeah, the French definitely want a result here. Christophe Laporte, their best result so far, taking the stage win on stage 1. And Rowan Dennis doing a supreme ride at the front for his teammate, Primož Roglic. Then we have a whole host of Ineos Grenadiers riders. Adam Yates, Rowan Dennis, no, not Rowan Dennis, Danny Martinez, and one more that I can't quite identify. But a really good ride here from Rowan Dennis. Just absolutely showcasing why they brought him in. Why did they get rid of him in Ineos Grenadiers? Is he that problematic as a rider? But yeah, 41 people watching, 36 likes. Come on, guys, we're missing 11. 11. That's all we need to break the record. But in terms of our poll, 33% of you think the win's going to come from the break. No, from the peloton. 67% of you believe it's going to be a victory for Brendan McNulty. No one believes in Guillaume Martin. No one believes in Jorgensen, Ham van Hauke, and Bonnemois. Of course, Ham van Hauke is out the back now. So this will be interesting. So yeah, the big headline of today is, the big headline is of course going to be the victory, but the sub-headline is going to be the amount of riders who didn't start or didn't finish this stage today. But Bonnemois and Matteo Jorgensen, you'll have to press those pedals a bit more if you want to catch this American out the front. You're running out of time. You're running out of distance here. And it's not looking great for the French-American allegiance, temporary allegiance here that we've got. So, yeah, Brendan McNulty doing a sterling effort at the front. Just solid ride from him. UAE Team Emirates losing Joao Almeida in the beginning, losing Matteo Trentin from the race. Joao Almeida looks like he is back in that main group, which is great. And yeah, we almost have 50 now in the chat, so that's great to see. Let us know who you think is going to win today. Let us know where you're watching from as well, of course. And yeah, don't be a stranger is what we're saying. What are we saying here? Jorgensen, Bonnemois, Drop, Van Hauke, these front three riders could be our podium picks. Yeah, that is definitely sure. Under 5 kilometers to the final intermediate sprint as well, as Ricky said. Yes, that's true. Laporte and Dennis are really good riders for Jumbo-Visma. That is true as well. Rowan Dennis definitely earning his paycheck today, that's for sure. And he'll be a big part of that Tour de France squad for Roglic and Jonas Vingegaard. Who knows who they'll be going for. Jonas Vingegaard did say he's going to be riding for Roglic, but you know, it can all change. It can all change. We're over 50 people in the chat. Come on, let's get over that 46 likes. We're 39 likes now, so very, very close to our record on this channel. But Brendan McNulty, what an effort here from the American rider. 15.2 kilometers to go now. 1 minute of an advantage. It hasn't really changed. So Matteo Jorgensen, Frank Bonnemois, you need to do something here if you're going to do something. But Guillaume Martin looks like he has 5 minutes. Let me just make sure that that is the French darling of France, of Cofidis. Is it him who has a 1 minute advantage to the chasers, or is it Ham van Hauke who's lost a minute? I'm beginning to suspect it is. No, it isn't Ham van Hauke. It is, in fact, Guillaume Martin who's going to take a minute here. Potentially. Who knows if he can keep the peloton at bay here. Wout van Aert, of course, out the back. And Unfortunately for him, it's not going to be him retaining that yellow jersey. Unfortunately for any Wout van Aert fans as well. So, yeah, 23 abandonments we're getting now, an update on Twitter. So, yeah, just so unusual. When's the last time we've seen that? Can't quite remember that. Um, but, yeah, what a shame, really. What a shame for the race to lose Clément Champusson, losing Stefan Bissinger, who was in the top 10. Of course, you would argue the case that Clément Champusson probably would. No, not. Stefan Bissinger probably wouldn't be there at the end of the day in the top 10, but you hate seeing riders just leave the race, of course. So, yeah, crucial stages here. 14.4 kilometers to go. Brendan McNulty is on that final uncategorized climb up to the intermediate sprint. And what can we say, really? 1 minute back, Matteo Jorgensen and Frank Bonnemois both missing the potential of a stage victory here. Matteo Jorgensen, 0 stage wins in his career. Did fairly well in the Tour de la Province this year, finishing 3rd on the final stage, and 2 top 10 finishes as well. Managed to finish 4th overall in the Tour de la Province, and of course the Tour de la Province won by Nairo Quintana, and yeah, Jorgensen, one for the future, the young Movistar rider. Will he be nurtured properly in Movistar? That is a big question. We've of course spoke of Ruben Fernandez, only 22 years old as well, Matteo Jorgensen. So yeah, unfortunately moved down to 57th place after yesterday's time trial. Did crash as well in stage 2 into Orléans with Steven Kruijswijk, so that kind of hampered his race a lot. But Frank Bonnemois definitely not taking a victory, I would say, on the World Tour, if I can recall. Watch him have done it, because I don't. Frank Bonnemois, anyone suspect that he's taking a victory? And what are we saying in the chat? Yeah, Jumbo is so strong. Around 15 kilometers to go, 1 minute. Yep, Ricky just updating us there on the situation. Yeah, 2 Americans on the podium and a Frenchman. Yeah, but in what order? It could be a French-American sandwich with an American with French American sandwich with a American sandwich with a French filling. We got there in the end. But 42 likes is what we got now. Over 50 in the chat. So we're missing 5 likes to beat our stream record. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. Let's get over that 46 likes, and good things will happen. But 65% of you in the poll believe it's going to be a victory for Brendan McNulty, and I do realize I've got a very itchy nose for some reason. So apologies for that, everyone. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Okay, I voted for Brendan McNulty in the poll as well. And yeah, Harm van Hauke has made it up into Matteo Jorgensen and Frank Bonnemois. The lead has gone up to 1 minute and 12 seconds now. So yeah, Matteo Jorgensen, Harm van Hauke, and Frank Bonnemois, what were you doing? Not only did you lose more time to Brendan McNulty, you also brought back Harm van Hauke, who could potentially be a threat here when we come to the finish. So tactical cleverness, not so much, but yeah, Brendan McNulty, solid ride here at the front, and what more can you say, really? Just solid riding from the American rider. And how far will he move up in the GC as well? He's quite far down in the GC, so would be nice to see him up there, potentially head up the paris-niza campaign for the likes of UAE Team Merimier, following the not greatest form from Joao Almeida, of course, which is a big shame for him. So yeah, great to another subscriber there. Let me just see what it was. Camp Honsak Bunpan Han. I think I butchered that, so apologies for that. But thanks very much for joining, KB. And we have beaten our record on the most likes. So great work, guys. And the big question for Odar is how Roglic is doing compared to Tadej Pogačar. Of course, we haven't got that head-to-head this year, as we didn't have last year. It looked like Roglic was going to take paris-niza and Tadej Pogačar take Treno, as he did. But anyways, in the bunch, we've got Guillaume Martin has been brought back by Total Energies. Of course, they're working hard for Pierre Latour, who seems to be really strong at the moment. And yeah, the French team's really working hard here for their leaders. We saw Akir Samsic early on bossing it. We saw now we've seen Total Energies doing it. But we still have Ineos Grenadiers in there with the two GC riders of Dani Martinez and Adam Yates at the front. Yeah, the lead has just grown now as Brendan McNulty comes to the final intermediate sprint. He's going to take the full points here. And 12.2 kilometers is all that separates the American from a famous victory here. 57 of you in the chat, so great to have you here. Let's see if we can get to 50 likes. 50 likes. We've got 1 or 2 more likes. That's all it is, and then we'll have a new. For every like, we're beating a record here in terms of our the Saxon Dane extra community. So yes. Total Energies are really pushing it on at the front. They've got 3 riders here. One of them we would insinuate would be Pierre Latour. They brought back Guillaume Martin, not giving the French rival team any advantage here. Jumbo-Visma still have Rowan Dennis in here, so that's good to see for them. And yeah, this is very, very interesting finish here. Is it? Am I lying? I mean, it's interesting that Brendan McNulty's been let go, and I was going to answer the question: where is Brendan McNulty? What was the last victory for Brendan McNulty as well? Well, in terms of World Tour, he of course took a victory at the Mallorca Challenge this year as well. But yeah, interesting rider. Born in 1998, he's 23 years old. He's soon going to be 24. He's coming into like the more Oh, Rowan Dennis gone. Rowan Dennis is gone. Rowan Dennis is gone. So Rowan Dennis disappears, and now Roglic has no support. So is he a bit exposed now? Of course, Roglic is well and truly able to defend himself. You wouldn't think that anyone could rival him on this kind of finish. 11.2 kilometers, and Total Energies are still pushing it at the front. Roglic looks like, is he laboring a bit, or am I just looking for something that isn't there? Total Energies just absolutely bossing it at the front. And Brendan McNulty, oh, I forgot about that. He also won the Ardèche Classic. Not won any World Tour races. He also won the Giro di Sicilia, as I insinuated before, but that was, of course, not with the UAE team members. He won the overall, and he won the Stage 3 after a breakaway. But 10.9 kilometers left now. 1 minute and 45 seconds of a lead for Brendan McNulty down to the 3 chasers. 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Adam Yates is upping the pace at the front here. Just stretching the legs here. Of course, Dani Martinez is better in the GC. And yes, Odar, we haven't got Roglic with any support riders, so that's a big surprise. No Sepp Kuss in here, no Jonas Vingegaard, no anybody, not even a Wout van Aert, and Wout van Aert being dropped. That was a big, weird occasion, really. But 10.6 kilometers is all that we've got left here, and yeah, very, very interesting scene. Roglic doesn't need the support yet. That is very true, Alexa, in this case. But we've got this very, very truncated group at this moment in time. 10.5 kilometers. 1 minute and 46 for Brendan McNulty. 6 minutes and 11 seconds for the peloton to make up. If they want to contest this stage, they're not going to do that. Spoiler alert. But yeah, make sure to look tomorrow on the main channel. We've got a interesting video coming up, and a competition being announced as well. And Ewan's also working on a very interesting feature, which will also be interesting. But all the GC riders are kind of looking at each other. But Danny Martinez is attacking. It's venga, venga, venga. Attack from Danny Martinez. He's going to be the second Colombian to attack it. And what a hard attack. We're of course coming to the Col de Torini later on in this week, where he's won before. And Danny Martinez, arguably one of the best GC riders for Colombia right now. Top 5 finisher last year in the Giro d'Italia, while supporting Egan Bernal. And what a interesting attack, and what an interesting move. We were thinking, are we going to see any movement from the GC riders, or are they just going to somewhat neutralize this stage? But it looks like it's not going to be the case for Ineos Grenadiers. Ineos Grenadiers on the attack like they normally aren't. They were so used to having this era where they dominated. No longer that era. We are in the UAE and Jumbo era right now. No, we are in the Tadej Pogačar and Roglic era. That's for sure. 9.4 kilometers to go. Under 5 minutes, under 6 minutes now for Danny Martinez. Looks like Alexander Vlasov is going to try and make a chase here, and this will be very, very interesting if we can see somewhat of a GC battle go make the selection and potentially do something. But Vlasov looks behind. No one's reacting. No one's reacting to this Danny Martinez move. Are they not scared of Danny Martinez? We know the Colombians are good. Everyone's looking at Roglic. Roglic has to take it up here. Of course, he is the virtual leader in the yellow jersey. And it's very interesting. What are we saying here? Think I've been behind the stream, just caught up. Okay, great to have you here, Paddy. 8.6 kilometers to go now. And Danny Martinez, solid ride here. What an acceleration from the Colombian. And I realize I'm running out of battery on the laptop, so I might have to move a bit. So I might have to move over to the charger. So that might happen in a bit. So that will be an interesting feature of the stage. But 8.2 kilometers now. We are seeing a start. No, Simon Yates, who was very strong yesterday, moving. Roglic. Is Roglic in trouble here? Roglic at the back end of this very elite group. Alexander Vlasov on Simon Yates' wheel. Is that Joao Almeida in here, recovering from a few bad stages in this tour already? Danny Martinez moving, rocking, absolutely throwing the gauntlet down. Is this going to be maybe a handful of seconds that he can claw back in the GC? Of course, the GC, where are they? Let's just remind ourselves of the GC. It's a very different GC that we have. Well, it's a very different GC we're going to get by the time we come to the finish. Wout van Aert was the leader. He's no longer here. He's 13 minutes down. Roglic, second. Christophe Laporte no longer in this group. Simon Yates in there, 49 seconds down on Roglic. Danny Martinez, 1 minute and 6 seconds down. So 56 seconds down on Roglic in the GC. Vlasov, how far is the nationless rider? 1 minute and 9 seconds down. So 3 seconds behind Danny Martinez. Sankau Andersen no longer in the top 10. Stefan Biesinger abandoned the race. Mess Pillers no longer in the GC. So the GC will change a lot today. A lot. I can tell you that. Even the top 15. Guillaume Martin looks to move as well. Riding third man on the road. So it's all happening now. It's all happening. And the riders are being shed. Roglic attacks. Roglic counters. What is the best form of a defense? Attack. Attack, attack, attack. Roglic does it. Roglic does it. So Roglic just puts a bit of pace here at the front. 2 minutes and 15 are been advantage for Brendan Minotti. So I think the race has been sewn up in form of the victory. But Vlasov is keen to move on to Roglic's wheel. Guillaume Martin is up the road, but it looks like none of them are really too worried about Guillaume Martin. He is, of course, quite far down. 3 minutes and 26 seconds. So not too much of a danger, and potentially will tire himself out in the coming stages. But yes, Contant Pache is still somewhat in this group, just being dropped out. It's a good riding from him, but Guillaume Martin putting the pace on. Danny Martinez almost catching up to Martin. So we could have a very strong alliance here, but Roglic putting in the watts here. Putting in the watts. Roglic attack, attack, attack. Closing the gap to Danny Martinez, just showing the strength. The question marks have been on Roglic. How strong is he? But Roglic brings it all back together here. Roglic brings back Guillaume Martin and Danny Martinez. Phenomenal work here from the Slovenian. And what riding from him. And yeah, it looked like they were going to be able to get away here. But Roglic is not giving any presence and any time away. Well, people think he's fragile. He's exposed by not having a Rowan Dennis, Wout van Aert, Jonas Vingegaard, Sepp Kuss, but he's answering all the questions. Joao Almeida struggling a bit there. Bauke Mollema is struggling a bit there. The pace being put on by now at the front of the peloton group by Guillaume Martin. Of course, they're coming to the flat finish. 4.5 kilometers is all that's left now for Brendan McNulty. So it's getting very interesting at the front for him. He's going to take the victory. Let's just say that right now. We've got 2 Cofidis riders at the front. I think it might be Ruben Fernandez. Could it be Ruben Fernandez? So that is very interesting. Ricky just informing us there. McNulty has also been awarded the most competitive rider, so that is good for him. Double award, it seems like it's going to be. But the other question, how far is he going to move up today? Brendan McNulty, he was 89th, finished 14th yesterday in the time trial, so good result from him. But where will he finish in terms of the stage? That is the big question. No, in the GC, we pretty much know where he's going to finish in the stage. There's going to be another victory for this Supreme UAE Team Emirates team. And yeah, if you haven't already, check out our ranking video and all the signings of UAE Team Emirates since Tadej Pogačar on the main channel. I like that video. I thought it was funny. So yeah, should be interesting to see if they can do anything later on in this week. Could Joao Almeida potentially be in the attack, on these other stages that are coming up? That remains to be seen. But 3.2 kilometers now for Brendan McNulty. It's a done deal. But 5 minutes and 48 seconds. How much time can he drag back in the GC is the big question here. He's such a solid rider, Brendan McNulty. He's shown so much in such a short career. He of course was a strong helper for Tadej Pogačar last year as well in the Tour de France. So yeah, who knows really? But yes, itchy eye here. But yeah, what more is there to say really? That the stage is going to be wrapped up. Missed opportunity for the likes of Matteo Jorgensen, the likes of Harman Hauken. They didn't cover this attack, and that was a shame really. They just let him go up the road. No one had the legs to respond. 2.5 kilometers, 5 minutes and 51 seconds. Roglic responding to every single move here that tried to get away. They have about a 12-man group, I would say, in that main peloton group. Favorites group is not a peloton group anymore. And yeah, every rider, the remainder of the riders just scattered all the way on the stage. And yeah, Bahrain victorious here. Looks like the figure of Wout van Aert, Wout Poels moving to the front here. Jack Haig, could it be Jack Haig potentially? Jack Haig could be interesting this week as well. But interesting tactics from the 3 other riders to let Brendan McNulty up. So silly, and they could have done something if they managed to hold on to him. But nevertheless, that isn't the case. And what what a good ride really from what a good ride from Brendan McNulty. You can't take anywhere from away from him. And yeah, UAE Team Mariners, another victory for them. And yeah, as Jeff Joyce just said there, a 30-kilometer TT win. So 4.3 kilometers to go for him. We'll have to see what happens in the lower classifications here. I think I might have to migrate over to the battery or the charger, because if we're also going to look at Tirreno, if you want me to keep going with Tirreno, just say Tirreno yes. If you don't, say Tirreno no. I know we all have lives to get to as well. 1.1 kilometer. Well, no, actually, I think we have enough time. It's not that much time to go to Tirreno as well after this. It's about, yeah, well, they've got 36 kilometers to go right now, so by the time we finish this, probably 28 kilometers. So about, yeah, who knows. But Brendan McNulty, it looks like he's going to take his first World Tour win here. It's going to be his 5th victory, 3rd of this year. So I don't know what he's been eating for breakfast, but can I have some as well? So 8-1 is going to take the victory for UAE Team members. He's coming up to the closing moments. Was that 250 meters to go? I think he's just realizing what's going to happen here. Incredible victory. Good ride. He's going to move himself up. He shakes his fist there in celebration. And yeah, it should be a really good ride, or really good victory all round. Yeah, what a victory from him. First American victory for a while in Paris-Niza. If you think back to Andrew Talansky, remember him? He had a solid run in the Tour in Paris-Niza. But here we go. Brendan McNulty takes the victory, salutes to the crowd, and 5th victory. What a win for him. And we'll see how far back the breakaway riders come. Will we have a 1-2 American? The movie star rider, of course. Matteo Jorgensen could do something here. Of course, taking no victory, so it's a shame that he let that opportunity go up the road. Of course, victories in a World Tour doesn't really come. Okay, we are going to continue on for Tirreno after this, so sit tight, guys, and I might have to just eat something because I think I missed out on lunch, so apologies for, I just have an egg here from the morning breakfast. So yeah, Nice, come to Nice. Absolutely spectacular place. It's my first time. But the riders, of course, they're going to be coming to Nice as well later on this week. So let's see how much funny videos I can try and make. Ewan is going to make a video about his excursions today. He, of course, climbed up the climb 40 kilometers to go. We have gone, it's been a minute since Brendan McNulty took the victory, so that just puts in perspective how far the breakaway riders were. Roglic has answered every challenge, risen to every challenge that's happened today. Danny Martinez was brought back. Guillaume Martin was brought back. They were all brought back, humbled by the Slovenian, and he's looking very strong. Of course, he doesn't want to let anything. He looked imperious last year. Let's not forget that. 3 stage victories. Looked like he couldn't be touched. But here we go. Frank Bonamois and Matteo Jorgensen are coming up to the final here. They are going to be doing a 2-up sprint. Frank Bonamois opens the sprint. Matteo Jorgensen is going to answer the counter-attack. Is he going to? No. Frank Bonamois looks like he's just caught. Bonamois has caught Matteo Jorgensen off surprise. But at least the Americans get a 1-3, so still a good result. Something to write home to America about. But Bonamois takes a lesser place of 2nd. What could have been, but Frank Hauken gets a 4th place, and the Belgian, who we'll have to see who is 5th on the day. No more bonus seconds up for grabs as well. And Harm van Hauke, of course, he took a few polka dot jerseys points along the way. We'll have to wait and see who actually gets to wear that polka dot jersey. I think it will be Valentin Madouas, the Groupama FDJ rider. So we have about 3 minutes to go until we get the favorites group. So I'm just going to enjoy this egg. So hungry. Yeah, and we might have to move over to the charger as well, because I've only got 12% on the laptop. So, but we've got they're coming ever closer to the finish. Of course, in Tirreno we have a bit of an uphill finish. So 3 minutes have gone by. I think I actually will get Tirreno up now as we speak. But I'll move first. I'll move over to the bed and then get the charger on because I really need to charge. But good victory. Good victory for Brendan McNulty. And yeah, what more can we say? Good result for him. Good result for UAE Team Emirates. We move over to the bed, a bit more comfortable for me as well. And we'll get Tirreno open as well. So, yeah, this should be interesting. What happens? Yeah, there we go. As Bill says, American sandwich of one French rider, Frank Bonnemois. And a shame that Matteo Jorgensen, the young rider, but of course, there's going to be a lot of things happening. Anthony Toshis, and some of the riders that we didn't hear much about just coming up to the finish. We have got a charger on now. The favorites group looks like it's neutralized completely. In terms of our likes, we've got over 50, now 53, so that's good to see. We've broken a new community record here on the Cycling Day in Extra. And yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your name will flash up in big colors. And if you missed out on that, just unsubscribe and subscribe. Then you'll get that effect yourself. But Roglic has risen to every single occasion today. Good ride from him. And yeah, what more can we say really? Just solid riding from Jumbo-Visma, really rising to the occasion. Owen Duel here coming to the finish with Valentin Madouas, who we believe is going to be the new polka dot jersey wearer in the race. So that would be a big result for him and the team as well. Having, well, potentially he could win it. Who knows, really? That would be a good result from him. Valentin Madouas, absolute favorite of Ewan. And yeah, 5 minutes and 15 seconds have gone by now. The big question was, how far will Brendan McNulty move up in the standings? Pierre Latour goes for an acceleration here as the main group come towards the finish. Nairo Quintana, they're all sprinting for minor places here. Is there really any point to this? No, they're all going to get the same time, but just releasing, yeah, for a variety of reason, bragging rights. But Pierre Latour, they try and get a gap here. They did get a gap here to Bahrain, a Bahrain victorious rider, probably not Jack Haig. But we were thinking about where was Brendan McNulty before the stage? 87th, no, 89th. So 13 minutes and 58 seconds down. So sorry, any American fans or friends. Not gonna be his day. Here we go. Another subscriber. Great to have you here, Nathaniel Tetro. Thank you for subscribing. Let's grow this community, but unfortunately, Brendan McNulty won't be moving anywhere significantly in the GC. But anyways, that's the finish of the stage, and we'll just jump over to Tirreno while we have you all here. And what a result for Brendan McNulty. So we jump over to Tirreno Adriatico. I have no idea what the situation is. 27.2 kilometers to go. We have a group up the road, so this should be very interesting. I'll try and see if I can change the graphic as well. But yeah, Tirreno Adriatico coming to the closing moments. We've got a group of, well, they did have Quinn Simmons up the, well, do we have Quinn Simmons up the road? Yeah, Quinn Simmons is up the road. So we could have two American victories here. Quinn Simmons, the young American, of course, had a bit of controversial moments on Twitter. He was actually going to do an interview with me that week, and then, of course, that got cancelled for no PR for him. But, yeah, first is Quinn Simmons. Then we've got the all-conquering Warren Barguil, Diego Rosa, and also the Colombian icon Respirado. Of course, riding for Drone Hopper. Castedo, the former 2020 Giro d'Italia stage winner. Chris Hamilton in that group as well. Then we've got an elite group of Tadej Pogačar, Lilian Camajon, Jade Hidley, Filippo Ganna, Remco Evenepoel, who got done for speeding in the courts, lost his license apparently, and then that looks like to be the situation on the road. Let's try and see if I can update the graphics so we have Tirreno instead of Paris-Nice in front of us as well. That would be a bit better, I think. But yeah, time for a new poll, I guess, as well. A different race. So let's just get this properly set up. So apologies for the bit of a wait here. We will have it. There we go. That should be, yeah, there we go. Of course, all courtesy of Pro Cycling Stats, amazing website. I implore you to watch it. It's the website I look at the most every day, probably 10 times a day, if I'm not joking. So I'm definitely a pro cycling addict, that's for sure. So if you're still here, great to have you here. We're following the Tirreno Adriatico right now, so it's probably time for a new poll. But we're basically getting the chasing group. Well, I think the Pro Cycling Stats are a bit out of sync. 24.9 kilometers to go now. The peloton have basically brought everyone back, the favorites group, apart from one Quinn Simmons. 1 minute and 6 seconds is all that the American has here. The very young American, solid rider. He's just absolutely been up there in so many races, winning the Tour of Wallonia. And Tom Scoyne, friend of the channel, visible at the front end of the race. So this is going to be very interesting. Quinn Simmons, 4 kilometers from the last KOM, or one of the last KOMs. And yeah, we still have about 40 of you here, so great to have you here. Always brings a smile to my face when we have so many people in the chat. What should the next? We should have a next poll now. So 60% of you have voted in that 35% poll. Got it right. So I think we should just have an easy one to kick it off. Will Quinn Simmons win? Will Quinn Simmons win the stage? Yes, no. I think that's an easy poll that we can all just get to grips with. So yeah, Tirreno Adriatico is what we're looking at right now. Interesting race for sure. And yeah, unfortunately, it is a shame that we don't have. It's a shame that we don't have them separately to Paris-Nice, so we could cover them separately. I think the rule should be that no World Tour race should be at the same time as another World Tour race. And I think that is quite fair. Look at the Dauphiné, look at the Tour de Suisse, like they're overlapping as well. It's really annoying. But nevertheless, Jumbo-Visma, deja vu here. They are at the front of the race. Diego Rosa looks like he's at. Is that Diego Rosa? It's a Iolo Cometa rider, of course. Iolo Cometa, sponsored by Burger King. That very funny sponsorship. So very interesting. But yeah, Jumbo-Visma copy paste here at a different race. And yeah, as Ricky said, it could be another breakaway win, and it could be another American breakaway win if this holds on. So we're almost at 60 likes as well, so if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. Let's get to 60. It's already our most liked stream here on the Cycling Day and Extra channel. Of course, there are many good things coming up on the channel. Ewan's going to share his vlog as well, and yeah, it should be quite interesting what happens here. In Tirreno, can Tadej Pogačar win it for another year? Of course, last year he was so dominant, winning the Pranto di Tivo. It was such an amazing addition last year. We had Wout van Aert just absolutely all-conquering. We had Mathieu van der Poel all-conquering as well. Julien Philippe, Tadej Pogačar. It was like just so good cycling on show, yes, last year. But 23.5 kilometers. The men in yellow are at the front here, and we think it's for Tadej Pogačar. No. We think it's for Jonas Vingegaard, but Jonas Vingegaard is riding third wheel, so who knows if it is for Jonas. Of course, Jonas been on the channel a few times, been on this channel as well. Don't forget about that. We should put that as the video when you go on the channel. You see that interview, because it was at the Rouleur Classic last year, and absolutely nice guy. He's also been on the main channel, so he's been on both channels. I think Nico Roach has been on both channels as well. So those are the only two riders who've featured on both channels in terms of sole interviews, not clips or whatever. But nevertheless, 23.2 kilometers left now. 55 seconds of a lead for Quinn Simmons. So it has dropped out about 11 seconds since we've come on here. So the Trek Segafredo rider, they would want another World Tour stage race win after Mads Pedersen, of course, took one in 2 days ago in Paris-Niza. But yeah, this should be very interesting to see if Quinn Simmons can hold out here. He's using Paris-Niza like he's using Tirreno, as some other riders are using Paris-Niza, just as a tune-up race, of course. And we'll see if he can do anything in terms of, hold off here. We got that interesting final bit of a kick to the stage, and Jumbo-Visma look like they are potentially Jonas Vingegaard could do it here. Jonas Vingegaard in the Drum Classic looked absolutely solid, and of course, if you haven't seen that, check it out on our main channel. I covered that as well. And Sepp Kuss here, is that Ben Thies Benoot? I don't think it's Thies Benoot. You can't quite make out of the sunglasses, but Jonas Vingegaard is so good. Simmons might get caught, but will get the KOM probably. Might as well do it here. What are you saying? I forgot to make a huge deal about clip you guys added of Vingegaard said the cycling Dane at the beginning. Oh yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, there is a clip. Jonas Vingegaard says, "Welcome to the cycling Dane." So, if you haven't seen that, check that out as well. Thanks for that, skyscraper. Yeah, Jonas Vingegaard, absolutely, such a nice guy. I can't say anything more than that, and you'll probably be on the channel again. But 22.3 kilometers left, and 53 seconds now for Quinn Simmons. Will he be a bit tired here? Who knows? And screw it. Let's share the interview here, the one on this channel. Of course, we have this. I don't need to say the main channel. Like, we all know that. And I hope you guys like the logo as well. The logo on this channel was redesigned by Ewan. He flipped the colors, and I think quite a neat little touch. Here it is. So 22.1 kilometers. Great to have still around 40 people here. We still haven't hit 60 likes. You probably all liked it by now, so me saying it is probably just silliness. But 53% of you who have voted believe it is gonna be a Quinn Simmons victory. So most of you believing in the peloton catching this young American. So of course they're sponsored by Pirelli now, and can he do it? It's a big ask here, big ask for the young American. We have changed the graphics as well, so I think that's a nice little neat touch. But it isn't Paris-Niza, of course. But Jumbo-Visma are still at the front of the race, so it's a bit of a deja vu for us here in our little community. But 21.7 kilometers. Not really seeing too much of movement from the favorites group behind him. Quinn Simmons doing the daring. Has he won a World Tour race? I'm inclined to say no. Let's just double check that. He is doing a formidable job here. He's only been a pro since 2020. He's already got a contract to the end of 2023. You would have thought that would be extended. 7th in Strade Bianche this year after a solid ride last year. But I can confirm no World Tour wins, but he didn't win the Tour de Wallonie Stage 3 last year, and the Tour de Wallonie overall as well. Great victory for him. And I think he might be the youngest rider winning that stage. He's definitely going to develop into a classic superstar. Only 20 years old. It's just incredible talent. And just showcasing, yeah, Quinn Simmons. Former world champion, of course, in the junior ranks in the Tour of Yorkshire. In the World Championships in Yorkshire, where Mess Pillerson, of course, took the victory. But we don't have to dwell too much on that. 21 kilometers left now. 47 seconds of a lead. He is starting to lose time here, but still holding on. So valiant effort here from him. You can't say anything bad about this 20-year-old in terms of his cycling. So see what I did there? But yeah, 1 like away from 60. 1 like away from 60. So if you're watching it, you're there with your coffee, you're enjoying this silly commentary by this silly Dane in Nice, hit the like and good things will happen to something. But anyways, remember there is a competition coming out tomorrow. I'm not spoiling it. Well, tomorrow or maybe the day after, whenever. So look out for that on the main channel, and that will be very interesting. And also the feature video coming up from Ewan. But 20.7 kilometers to go. Of course, will be on the ground for the stage, the Coltarini stage and the final stage as well. Both starting in Nice and the last one finishing in Nice. But nevertheless, Filippo Ganna is up here in the blue jersey. Of course, he is the leader. Jumbo-Visma controlling affairs as well. Will there be a bit of a kick here towards the end? You can see on your screen that kick we have. That is the interesting part here. They've got now, it's the final lap. Will this be, well, they're coming up to this is the finish. But will we see anyone hit out? Will we see Julian Philippe potentially hit out? Julian Philippe, the world champion, double world champion, deciding not to go to Paris-Niza again. And that's a shame for the organizers, who would have dearly loved to have seen Julian Philippe be in this race. But nonetheless, he's here once again. It's a very Julian Philippe course here for the Tirreno Adriatico. Not quite befitting of some of the other GC riders. No big Pranto di Tivo stage, so that's a bit shame for the race. No big HTC climb, and they're really nullifying it, getting rid of the Tadej Pogačar finish. So Tadej Pogačar will have to think a bit differently if he wants to win the stage race, win that Trident once again. So we'll have to wait and see. But Quinn Simmons, of course, took the honours there. Cohen Baumann is the rider I mistakenly thought was Thies Benoot. Of course, he doesn't really have those blonde curls. I think he's got a haircut sticking out of his helmet. Great to have you here, Ivy, and another subscriber to the Extra channel. So thank you again for subscribing. And yeah, let's try and get this channel to 1,000 subscribers before the Giro d'Italia. And don't worry, the coverage of the Giro will, most of it, be on the main channel. And 18.9 kilometers now, 37 seconds. So this lead is starting to disappear now. So Quinn Simmons fans, you're going to have your tongue, well, tongue lige munden, as we'd say in Danish. You're going to have your tongue right in your mouth, in the middle of the mouth. Doesn't really make sense in English, but nonetheless, fortunately, it's not a Danish commentary stream, but yeah, 47 of you here. Great to have you here. 63 likes. We've got it up to past our record. So great to have a record. And of course, we will eventually get it up to 100. But just a confirmation here of what Ricky said. Quinn Simmons is the new virtual leader of the Mountains jersey, so that's good for him. Second is Davide Baez. And then we have, didn't quite see who that was in third place, but it doesn't really matter. Quinn Simmons is going to take it. 39 seconds on that beautiful Trekimunda. And yeah, let's see if he can just about keep out of harm's way. Richard Carapaz in here, of course, as well, supporting that golden Olympic helmet. And can Ineos Grenadiers do something? That is the big question. I think they have Ethan Hayter in here. No, that's not true. Ethan Hayton's paris-niza. We got an attack here from... Who is that? We've just had an attack. So that is Iman Buchmann, the fullback. High finisher of the Tour de France, looking to shake things up. It's always great to see when attacks head off in these more simple stages and we don't just see them roll to the finish line and wait for that last 100, 500 meters kick. It's great to see some riders taking the race to the scruff of the neck here. They're thinking potentially there could be a stage victory up for grabs here if they can get Quinn Simmons back. We've got this long straight road here and they could just about see Quinn Simmons in the distance. 17.3 kilometers, 36 seconds still, so they haven't taken all that big chunk out. Oh, here we go. 33 seconds now. 33 seconds has been taken out. No, not taken out, is remaining for Quinn Simmons at the front here. So it's getting very interesting. 64 likes now, so good to see that. What are we saying here? Ricky's saying, yeah, he definitely will be wearing that. So, yeah, who is going to win the stage now? So 59% of you says no now. So we would have had a swing. Quinn Simmons, it looks like, isn't going to be taking the stage victory according to our poll. Of course, our poll is fairly accurate, we would say, within the parameters of the 4 choices that are given or up for grabs, really. But yeah, a bit of pace put on here by AG2R Citroën. Is that Greg Van Avermaet a former winner? And I don't think it is. Of course, Ben O'Connor no longer in Paris-Niza. I forgot to mention that as well. But yeah, this is such an interesting finale now. Are we going to see some movement from the big guys? It just is stalemate here from the main peloton. It kind of yo-yos the pace. Is that Sepp Kuss we've got? We've got a bit of a break of a group here coming towards the finish. So it's going to be very, very interesting what happens here. And we might just change our title here for the time being to Treno. I feel it's probably more fitting. But Treno Adriatico stage 4, this is it. We're coming down to the finish. It's all to play for. Quinn Simmons, can he hold out? We don't know. We really don't know if he's gonna do it here. Quinn Simmons trying everything to keep this rampaging group at bay. It looks like they can potentially get caught out. 20 seconds, 15.8 kilometers left now, and I would say it's probably not Quinn Simmons' day now, and the favorites group is being split up here. And are we gonna see some favorites get caught out here? The world champion Julian Philippe is in the middle of this split. He just about makes it into the the front end of the group. Can he potentially catch up here? We don't know. Yeah, Julian Philippe nearly caught out in the split, and it's such a delicate situation here. Can we potentially see Julian Philippe win the stage today? But he will have to make himself get up into that front end of the group. EF Education pushing on here. UAE Team Emirates up there as well. Tadej Pogačar is looking to do something, and we'll have to see if something can happen. Yeah, Quinn Simmons, it looks like it won't be his day, unfortunately, today. 14.8 kilometers, 11 seconds now for Quinn Simmons. This is not happening. Guys, let me know who you think is going to take the victory now. Our poll, of course, most of you not believing that he's going to take the victory. So it's going to be interesting. Very interesting finish here for the race. If we will potentially see a Tadej Pogačar hit out here, take the victory on that final incline that we got. But can he do it? Has Quinn Simmons got anything in the tank here? I don't think so. The young American, it looks like it is a done deal. UAE Team Emirates are working at the front here. Deja vu, UAE Team Emirates taking the victory. And Trek Segafredo, it looks like it's not going to be their day today. They won't get another World Tour stage race victory. Quinn Simmons looks like he is probably a bit defeated. And the young American, yeah, commiserations, but he will get a consolation prize of the KOM jersey. But we are getting very close now. 13.6 kilometers to go. And it's going to be interesting. The puncher finish here. Puncher's dream, you would say. And yeah, what more can we say here? Who will take it? Who will take it? I think it will be one Coach Julian Philippe. Does he have anything in the tank here? Remco Evenepoel. Remco Evenepoel. We haven't spoken about him. The rider who was, of course, charged with speeding in Belgium. Today or yesterday, could he take the victory? We've seen him really be able to ramp it up in these kind of punchier finishes, but we've seen Tadej Pogačar as well be able to hit it out in these punchy finishes as well. So it could be a Tadej Pogačar versus Remco Evenepoel finish here. But we've got... Who is that? Who is that? Is that a Total Energies rider who's heading out? I think it is Total Energies, as Quinn Simmons, the dream is over. He has been caught, unfortunately. That marvelous red beard is gone from the front of the pack now. Total Energies are hitting out here, but who is it? Who is the rider who's hitting out here? That would be an amazing result for them if they could take the victory. But they are doing their best here to try and keep it from a finish potentially. Pro Cycling Stats haven't quite updated who that Total Energies rider is, but could potentially just keep the riders at bay here. Yeah, Ciccone is another rider here. Could he do a good GC result today? Who knows? But 11.7 kilometers is all that's left. This is the calm before the real storm here from the GC riders. Can we see our first big battle between Remco Evenepoel and Tadej Pogačar head-to-head in a sprint finish? We haven't quite seen that head-to-head, that striking head-to-head between the two, but should be a good finish here. We are getting... Who is it? Who is it? I just think I heard from the Eurosport commentator. They said it was... let's see, Valentin Ferron, the young French rider who's only 24 years old. If it is him, Ferron, it would be an amazing victory from him. His best result today, victory in the Tour de Rwanda last year. Of course, a race many of the French riders or French continental teams, pro-continental teams go to. Yeah. Greg Van Avermaet, the former champion. Yes, you heard that right. He's, of course, one edition because they cancelled one of the races that year. 12 seconds is the lead now for Ferron. Just absolutely keep going here. Don't look back. Keep going. And this could be the biggest day in the young French rider's career. And, yeah, he's been with Total Energies since 2019, where he... was a trainee rider, but UAE team members are looking determined to bring this back. 9 seconds now, 10 seconds. So could it be a Tadej Pogačar win? Could it be a Remco Evenepoel win? That is the big question now. So just under 10 kilometers to go now. Thank you for still being here. If you're still here, enduring my I wouldn't say Danish voice, because I definitely don't have a Danish accent, because I'm not a big fan of the Danish accent. But 11 seconds here. 11 seconds between him and the peloton. 2-2-4. And this would be an absolutely immense result for Total Energies, of course. Have they taken any victories this year? Yeah, they have. They won the 3 stage victories. Alexa Gines has won the first stage of the Tour of Rwanda. They won stage 2 as well and stage 5, but not the overall. So no World Tour victories for them as of yet. They had a second place from Christian Rodriguez in the Route de la Sol, fifth place for the Tour de la Province in the from Pierre Latour, and of course sixth at Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne and sixth in the Drôme Classic from Evillem-Nios. And Pierre Latour doing a stellar effort, as we've said in Paris-Niza. But anyways, going back to Tirreno Adriatico 2022, 8.8 kilometers to go, 9 seconds, and you feel like that's not going to last all the way to the finish. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah, it would be a sterling victory for him, but you just feel like the big riders won't allow this. Tadej Pogacar wants to have a go at this. Peter Sagan is no longer in this race, so they have to do something to get their sponsors on the screen. So yeah, it's a good showing from Total Energies, getting that sponsor out there while they can. Specialized out there as well. Of course, they're all riding Specialized courtesy of that Peter Sagan contract. But yeah, with every pedal stroke, he's getting one step closer to potentially the biggest race victory of his career. But Iolo Kometa up there, Jumbo Visma up there, Trek Segafredo looking for something, looking for revenge after Quinn Simmons was brought back earlier in the stage. So yeah, he'll have to do a incredible ride to keep them at bay here. Only 9 seconds. We saw how quickly a 50-second advantage evaporated away from Quinn Simmons. But Tom Scoyne up near the end, Koftis near the back. What's new there? But Alpecin Phoenix, of course, already taking a stage victory with Tim Merlier. And yeah, Byron Victorious. Could they potentially do something in the mix here? And Julien Philippe should have moved himself up for Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl. Of course, they've also got Remco Evenepoel in the team, so that could be a bit of mixed ambitions there. Are they both going to be sprinting for their victory today? 7.1 kilometer to go now, so not long at all for the stage to finish. And yeah, I was just wondering, how long have we actually been on the stage, on the stream today? Quite a long stream, trying to cover both races somewhat. Yeah, 2 hours and 11 minutes. Very, very long stream today, but 6.9. How can I talk for that long? That is crazy. 6.8 kilometers to go now. 8 seconds. They can see him now. It's all over, really. Rubbing salt in the wound. Quinn Simmons is pulling this breakaway rider back. Julien Philippe is in the bunch. He's looking very ready here. Very strong. The world champion looking for another victory at Tirreno Adriatico for the second year in a row. But Remco Evenepoel, is he going to be in the mix? Carapaz, is he going to be in the mix? We'll have to wait and see. But it looks like Remco Evenepoel is donning the white jersey here. Jonas Vingegaard, can he do something here as we get another subscriber? Thank you for subscribing, Nico, the programmer. Great for you to join this little community, the Cycling Dane Extra, even smaller than the main channel, but nevertheless, getting ourselves towards the thousands. Should we call it hashtag road to 1,000? Thanks, Nico. Road to 1,000. So 5.6 kilometers is all that separates us and also me from a glass of water, and 8 seconds is all that we have for Ferrand. And the Total Energies rider has definitely held on here. He's been around the 8-9 seconds, so he's matching the peloton. So he's putting out some decent power here, that's for sure. And yeah, what more can he do in this race? 24 years old, only the biggest victory to his name so far is the Tour Rwanda. And as he moves under the 5 kilometers to go banner, can he add this to his very young Palmares? Only ridden for Total Energies, and yeah, this could be very good. Great to have you here, Nicholas, as well. are you the same as Nico the programmer? That could be the case. But yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, see your name flash up, and that will be on the stream forever. And also, yeah, help us with this. Who will win? That is a good question. We should get rid of that poll as well. Let's do a new poll quickly. If I can just get the poll up. We have got 4.4 kilometers to go, so it's going to be a very short poll. That's for sure. Yeah, I'll just put Remco, Alaphilippe, and Pog, and or other. Who will win? Pog, Alaphilippe, who are we saying? Feels a bit cheating to put 2 quick-step riders. So we'll put Jumbo. We'll put Alaphilippe or Remco because it's the same team, so that counts. And then we'll put Vingegaard or other. So Enric Mas is up there in the chase. Jumbo Visma at the front. Yeah, Total Energies has a guy in the chase, in the rotations of the peloton. So they just throw the rhythm there a bit. And yeah. Anyways, we get a counter attack here. Romain Bardet. Caruso's response to that. The second place rider of the Giro d'Italia. So it's a bit of a flashback to last year's Giro d'Italia here, with the 2 riders who both picked up stage wins. Did Romain Bardet pick up a stage win? I don't think he did. He definitely did pick up a top 10. But yeah, that bit of a lull. I think they've caught Ferron now, so unfortunately it's not going to be his day today, so that's a shame. Yeah, we saw 46 of you here. Great to have you here. And Damian Caruso, the pace just lets up a bit here. 33% of you are backing. Oh, here, Cofidis goes again. Cofidis. Drone hopper up there as well in that very remarkable kit. Cofidis, who is that Cofidis rider? I was going to say it looks like Diego Lisi, but he's not riding for Cofidis. Benjamin Thomas it is apparently. But Tadej Pogačar up there, so he might take the victory now. 33% of you believing in Tadej Pogačar for the victory. This group definitely has been strung out, and I think it is the young air train rider from Drone Hopper just putting in a bit of an acceleration here. 2.9 kilometers to go now, and they still have a bit of a challenge to go here. It is opening up here as Ineos Grenadiers are losing a rider at the back. Is that Richard Carapaz? Yeah, that's Richard Carapaz. Richard Carapaz, the Olympic champion, is spat at the back. Is that Lutsenko at the front? Or is that Miguel Angel Lopez? I think it's Lopez. Looks like Lopez. Superman Lopez. The man who probably should be representing Colombia for boxing in the next super lightweight featherweight for the coming Olympics is looking around. We have a bit of a lull at the front. This lull will help Richard Carapaz potentially get back in the group. Tadej Pogačar at the front, the defending champion. But we are getting a move here. Move from Bora Hansgrohe. Bora Hansgrohe making a move here. Giulio Ciccone responding. Bilbao as well. And this is, yeah, there's a lot of stop start in terms of the rhythm here, and that could favor some riders. Is that Landa? I think we've got Landa, but Tadej Pogačar not looking to release anyone here. 2.3 kilometers to go. Bang! Evenepoel is going, and riders have to respond now. They have to respond. He's got a Cofidis rider on his wheel. Tadej Pogačar responds to that acceleration from the young Belgian. Tadej Pogačar absolutely marking that acceleration from Remco Evenepoel. It is a very, very edgy finish, this. Everyone's nervous. Everyone's looking around. 2 kilometers, less than 2 kilometers to go. And Benjamin Thomas, I believe, on his wheel responded to Remco Evenepoel. So that was a formidable acceleration. Theo Gegenhardt, I think, is in here as well. But Richard Carapaz is struggling. And if you want to see Richard Carapaz's bike, of course, check that out on the channel. This channel, yes, it's there. But anyways, Miguel Angel Lopez. Is that Lopez? I think it is Lopez. Tries to go for it as well. And it looks like this is going to end up in the sprint. 1.8 kilometers left now. Is that David Formolo as well up here? Remco Evenepoel is keen to stay in second wheel here. Remco Evenepoel, first time running Tirreno Adriatico. The young Belgian. We have such a sterling effort of young riders here. So, we've got 68 likes here. We are 2 likes away from 70. A new benchmark for us. If there's 2 of you who haven't liked, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, see your name flash up as we see the riders. Julian Philippe dropped out the back, so we're not going to see Julian Philippe emulate his staged victory from last year. So yeah, Bahrain victorious up here with Miguel Landa looking around. Ooh, it's very, very high pace. It has to be a high pace because Julian Philippe has been dropped out the back. But it definitely is a bit like everyone's looking around. And now, Ineos Grenadiers. Is that Narvaez? Narvaez, the Ecuadorian rider. Of course, he's... Yeah, we see one Ecuadorian drop out the back, and then we have another one at the front. Who is that? Richie Porte? That looks like Richie Porte. Richie Porte just... Yeah, putting the screw here. Screwing up the pace, but it looks like no. Well, Tadej Pogačar is riding second wheel. Giulio Ciccone third wheel. Are we going to have a sprint here? 1.2 kilometers, and it is Richie Porte. Richie Porte looks back. Has Richie Porte run Tirreno Adriatico ever? I'm not quite sure. It definitely is going to be a very interesting finish here. Coming close to the final kilometer. Ultimo kilometer, or however you say it in Italian. Whatever. But Eolo, if there's any Eolo boys, they will see Eolo sponsors the final kilometer. So that could potentially be a bit of... Oh, shoot, guys, you've responded completely. 75 is our new benchmark here. So, yeah, kudos for that. But Richie Porte is looking very lively at the front. Increasing their pace. Have they got Ethan Hayter in here? Is Ethan Hayter still up here? I can see... No, he's not in this race, Scott. He's in paris-niza. It's Theo Gegenhardt I'm confusing. So confusing 2 Brits there. But, yeah, Ben Thomas is reacting here. Tadej Pogačar reacting to that acceleration from the Cofidis rider. It's all still to play for, guys. Tadej Pogačar is continuing the momentum. Tadej Pogačar goes for it. Is the king of Tirreno last year going to take another stage victory? Tadej Pogačar. Pog. Looks like he is going to take his first victory here in Tirreno Adriatico. Just, well, strong. He got kind of slingshotted past the Cofidis rider, and what an acceleration. It looks like he will take the victory. The Slovenian rider looks back. Is there anyone behind him? He is going to take another victory in Tirreno Adriatico. It looks like Jonas Vingegaard is going to be the closest rider to him once again. Just punches out. Tadej Pogačar takes the victory. What a victory. And yeah, Jonas Vingegaard closest to him. And yeah, what an intense finish that was to the race. Guys, you responded to my calls for likes. 76 likes now to the stream. So what a record there. But yeah, was it Jonas Vingegaard that finished second? That is the big question. So yeah, what a victory from Tadej Pogačar yet again. Takes a victory. So good ride from him. And Jonas Vingegaard. Jonas Vingegaard. That is the best pronunciation you will hear on any English commentary. Eurosport, Flow Bikes, whatever they're called. But yeah, Tadej Pogačar, what a victory from him. Adds another victory to a very solid career. A very solid season already. So, with that, Tadej Pogačar, yeah, it was Ben Thomas. He just reacted to his acceleration, and what a formidable ride by Tadej Pogacar there to react to that acceleration. So, that's basically it for today. Thank you very much for watching. 77 likes now, so thanks every single one of you for joining. Thank you if you've subscribed as well. Yeah, it was a formidable acceleration by Tadej Pogacar that won him in those closing moments. And, of course, going back to Paris-Niza as well, we saw that victory from Brendan McNulty. So, yeah, thanks every single one of you for joining. And